Welcome back to Exotic Car Play Place, everybody, on this beautiful Sunday morning. Thanks for joining in again today. But today we have a special treat. We're just going to forsake the news for today because of such a big change on the channel. You guys all know that I've actually recently sold my BMW 335 with the M240, and you've all been guessing on that video which car I actually bought. But before I actually reveal which car I bought, let's go through some of the comments here that you guys had a lot of great guesses, because after all, remember, life's too short to drive boring cars, so every one of your guesses was one that was very valid. So let's go through the list and take a look here. So firstly, Auto Blipper actually asked if I was going to buy an AMG with a V8 engine. Very, very good thought, because actually those cars are crazy, they sound aggressive, they're mean, and they're all fast. Very good guess there, Auto Blipper, but actually that is not the car. So let's keep going down the list. Okay, and we scroll down to the next one. Did AFM. He actually guessed, hey, did I buy an M235i or an M240i? Well, the 35i obviously has the N55 single turbocharged engine. And of course, if I went to the M240i, that car actually would have the B58, which is the same engine that you would find in the newest and latest and greatest Toyota Supra, amongst a host of many other BMWs, shares the same engine. It's also a 3-liter turbocharged engine, but it's the latest and the greatest, with well over 300 horse, actually pushing closer to 400 in certain guises. But in fact, that is not the car. Great car, I love that turbo engine, it's very tunable. So I can see why you guys would think that. That is a distinct possibility, as it's sort of from the same bloodline as the car that I had, the N54. But that's not the car. Let's keep looking. Here's another one. Gary Dickey actually asked if I was going to buy a 2016 340i. Now, the original 340 series, or anything with the 40 series, which is the B58 engine, was a great engine because you still had options to possibly buy a manual gearbox. Now, of course, in the current generation, if you were to buy, say, a 2019 340i, you can only get the ZF automatic transmission, which is great. It shifts very fast. But if you wanted to row your own gears, you'd have to go to one of the early vintage 340s. Now, the early 340s actually had a problem. There was an issue with the manual gearbox assembly and the way that all coupled up. So in actuality, that's one of the few cars that I would recommend getting the automatic transmission with, just because the problems associated with the manual. But that is not the car that I'm buying. Okay, and we scroll down, and there's another one from Joseph Benson. And he asked about the new X3. Is that maybe on my radar? Well, the new X3 is a great vehicle. I love the new styling aspects of it, the digital display that you get in some of the latest versions now. And if you guys saw my review, I actually reviewed the M40i version of the X3, and that car goes like stink. Why? Because it has the B58. And again, we keep circling around that B58 single turbocharged twin scroll engine is an absolute animal of an engine. But in fact, that's not the vehicle. Because I'm not really looking for an SUV at this time. I don't blame you guys for buying them, because that car can actually suit every single need that most families have. You can satisfy winter driving, but you can have your fun, and it's also a very attractive package, chocked with new technology, but that's not the car. Okay, and we scroll down to John Locke, who actually asked a question about maybe a Tesla, commenting that they're faster than Lamborghinis, and of course they're green, so that's the latest and the greatest. Everybody's going to pure electric, so that seems to be a very logical solution. And quite frankly, I thought it was a great solution for me too. And honestly, I've thought about buying a Tesla. I've also thought about buying the new Porsche Taycan. I just love the styling elements. The headlights are a little bit awkward for me, but the rest of the style is absolutely sublime. I love that new Taycan, but I do like the Teslas, particularly the Model S. Very attractive car in my opinion. But at this time, I'm looking for something that's loud and brash and obnoxious, not just fast. Everything. It has to have this whole package, so it's not a Tesla, but good guess, John. Okay, and we scroll down and we go to Zion Lords, and thanks, Zion, because I know you've been commenting on lots of my videos. I do want to reach out and say thanks for that very much. But Zion actually comments about possibly a 5 Series, an F10 5 Series, and I actually really agree with that choice, because I've driven the F10 M5 and I was thoroughly excited by it. F10 M5 is absolutely a superb choice. After all, you can either get the double clutch transmission or you can get the 6-speed manual gearbox, which is really the last version of a manual M5 that you can get. So there's lots of great reasons to buy an F10, not to mention with 552 horsepower, It's nothing to tune that car up to 800 horsepower with relative ease. It's an absolute awesome car, chock full of luxury, so I actually see where that question is coming from, but I would say at this point, I'm not buying an F10 M5 or any other F10 BMW for that matter. But let's keep scrolling. Stefan asks me about an i8. Did I buy an i8? No, I didn't buy an i8. Right now, in this stage of my life, really looking for something aggressive and strong and noisy. But with all of that said, honestly, we went on a recent rally last year and I had the M5, the E60 M5, which is just an awesome machine, but we ended up teaming up with a gentleman with an i8 and I struggled to keep up with that car. They are actually incredibly quick because of the electric motors on board. Even though it's a 3-cylinder gas engine behind it, you've got all that electric power propelling that car. So the car, in my opinion, is very much exotic by performance, by looks. It's a great car, but I did not buy the i8. Okay, so let's take a look. And here we have another one by Motoboy who actually asked about an E92 M3. Seems like the natural progression, and in many cases it would be. After all, going from an E92 335, somebody looking for that precision might go to an M3. And actually, quite frankly, I've looked very closely at them as well. As a matter of fact, before the 335 came along, I was actually looking at the M3. But in fact, that's not where I'm going. Yes, you can get either a manual gearbox or a DCT with those cars, but I actually feel like it's time to step forward in time a little bit. After going with the E92 series in general, time to move ahead. Okay, so let's keep scrolling. And we have one here by A3 Rocks, who asked the question, am I buying an Audi TT-RS? That is an absolutely amazing question, and I'll tell you why. I actually came this close to buying a TT-RS. As a matter of fact, I made a deal, and the salesman didn't want to get within that $900 differential. He didn't want to make a deal. These guys, I would say these clowns, because they didn't seem legit, and they seemed very unprofessional, to be honest, the way they were dealing. But I came this close to buying a TT-RS. Just couldn't quite make the deal happen. I love those cars. I've reviewed them in the past. I've driven them. And with cars that will do 0 to 60, while they're quoted to do 3.7, realistically, many of them have been seen doing 3.4 seconds, 3.5 seconds, up to 100 kilometers an hour. So the reality is the TT-RS is an absolute underrated car of the century. I think it is spectacularly fast, very attractive, if not a little bit on the hairstylist preference type car, but it doesn't matter. The car is so blisteringly quick, it's hard to deny. With the dual clutch transmission and that turbocharged 5-cylinder engine and 400 horsepower coupled to all-wheel drive quattro system, there's nothing that car can't do. It can answer your daily driving needs. It can actually take it to the racetrack with launch control. It'll destroy and decimate almost any car in its wake, and it'll take to extra boost and modifications quite easily. They're also known to be very durable and quite reliable, and they're associated with a lot of the racing heritage behind Audi. So it's a great engine, and I really did want that TT-RS, but I couldn't make it happen. However, I had another car that I actually liked more than the TT-RS, but it was a little bit more money, and quite frankly, I wasn't really thinking about doing that just yet, but I ended up doing it. The deal broke on the TT-RS, and then I ended up diving and made a deal on the car I actually purchased. So in other words, to find out what kind of car this really is, click on the link at the end of the video and it's going to take you to my other channel on YouTube. Now, I've just started it. I've got about a dozen to 20 videos or so. I really ask if you guys could go over there, have a look, check out my new car on that channel, and please subscribe to the channel, guys. I'd really love you guys to join that channel as well, because that's where the lifestyle begins. This channel is about information. My other channel is going to be living with these cars and the experiences that I see on a day-to-day basis with these cars. So please subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell on the other channel as well, because I really like you guys to get involved so I can build up my actual vlog, my lifestyle vlog, if you will. But before we get to that, and before you get that opportunity to click, I'm gonna share a couple of quick hints with you guys. A, my new car is all-wheel drive. B, it's got well over 500 horsepower. And C, it's got a V8 engine with a supercharger strapped to it, so it goes like hell. So thanks again, everybody. Be sure to click on the subscribe button here, and as well here in the notifications bell if you're not already a subscriber. And hey, if you are or you aren't, also click on the link over here, please. That's going to take you to my other channel really help support a guy, because I really do want to share with you guys the lifestyle side of owning luxury and supercars. Thanks again, everybody. I really hope to see you real soon. Bye-bye.